What's up, everybody? Getting started right now. Guess we'll start setting these oysters up. This one's got all types of stuff on it. Got an oyster, a little baby oyster. It's got a mussel, all types of stuff over there. Thanks, Turtle Ranger. Yeah, we'll see how we do today. I'm feeling good. I've never shucked or tried these oysters before, but they look really similar to the Chesapeake Bay ones. You can see how many like little oysters there are on top of these oysters. It's pretty crazy. They're farm raised oysters. No, I don't mind at all, Turtle Ranger. They're farm raised oysters, but they didn't knock any of the spat off them. I've never seen that before. Yeah, these have tons of them. We're almost to true oyster season here. My hat is a Costa hat. I need to get some, well, I ordered some by the water hats and they should be here soon. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll do a row, 3 rows of 8. And these are like really similar to what the Chesapeake Bay oysters are going to be that I shuck. You can see like they have a nice like big hinge there. So it should be pretty good. They got to be coming down. Blue crab prices for jumbos have to be coming down soon. Demand is really dropping because it's fall time, and it's the best time to eat crabs right now. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, you can get sick eating oysters. If it's one way you can get sick by eating oysters, if it's a bad oyster, of course. Another way is if you're eating it raw and the person that shucked that oyster didn't properly wash their hands after going to the bathroom or is sick themselves, they can pass that on to you. And then the third way that you could is by getting something called Vibrio, which can be alive in any coastal waters, but it doesn't do well in waters under 68 degrees, I think is the temperature. So it doesn't survive in that. And so that's why a lot of people eat oysters from cold water places. No competition yet. Kind of getting all the oysters set up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I got these from Harris Teeter today. Oyster, fish sauce, lime, chili, garlic, oil. Yeah, that is a delicious combination, what you just said there. This guy's a little bit suspect. This guy? Yeah, he's good. Here's one way. If you get your own oysters, I don't know if you guys can see it, but when I squeeze that oyster shell, how it doesn't close all the way. That's not what you want. That's a bad oyster. Good thing I have a few leftover oysters. That one's a little funky looking, but we're gonna shuck it. 1, 2, 3. Funky as in oddly shaped, not bad looking. These are gonna definitely test my wrist and the oyster knives. You can just see how deep those hinges are on them. It's gonna be interesting. Oysters will make you live till 90. No, AI is gonna make you live to 90, not oysters, but that's a different topic for a different day. Yeah, bad oysters, the shell will be open. But the problem is if you're buying them from a restaurant, you don't know that. It's just like you can see it kind of like opens and closes. They're just losing that ability to keep their shell closed, which means they're on the way to being dead. So it's tough though. If you're not buying them yourself, you don't really know that and you can't tell. Another way to tell of a bad oyster compared to a good one is the sound it makes. We'll use this one. So this is probably a good oyster. And you can kind of hear that sharp sound. And then that's more hollow. Which box? There was a bucket of them or a bowl of them. I got them from Harris Teeter. I paid $30 for 24 of them. So this is an oyster, a hollow oyster sound. And then we got a good one. Yeah, just like checking for a stud in the wall. Exactly. It's going to have a lot sharper sound and a lot more like there's something actually behind it because there's water behind it when it's a enclosed oyster. So I kind of thought I was just going to do 12 and just trying to shuck for speed today of like just doing a dozen, but I think I'm going to go for the 24 again. I think my best was just under 4 minutes, and the last time it was not 4:02, it was 4:05. I see the clock, I guess, or the timer backwards, so you know. Yeah, roasted oysters are delicious. Fishing videos. I think I plan on doing 2 or 3 more. The problem with fishing videos, it's really tough to be able to plan what you're going to do because you go out there with all the intention of catching fish, and a lot of times they don't cooperate. No, this is an outside kitchen. This is like a little, we call it the basement in our house, but it's not really a basement. It's just like a separate part of the house. It's like a little in-law suite almost. Normally, I shuck the oysters and then put them in a jar and then use them for different recipes from there. I would love to try your fresh sea scallops. Send me a message and I'll definitely try them out, Bobby. I haven't tried Bluff New Zealand oysters, but I definitely want to. Real Oyster Cult. If you're looking for a mail order, Real Oyster Cult is the best. Can I shuck 19 oysters in 3 minutes and 23 seconds? Probably. I think so. I do have to try Jersey crabs. In one way, I'm kind of happy the crab series is over because it was a lot to go to all those places and yes, Real Oyster Cult and do all that stuff. But at the same time, I miss it because it was fun content to make and it was fun to do. So I don't know. Maybe I will try some Jersey crabs versus Maryland crabs, especially when the season gets started. Maybe someone will take me out there. That's awesome. Best seafood in Baltimore. I don't know. I don't go up to Baltimore much. You know, I went up to Baltimore more in the last little while for these crab videos than I had in a long time. I'm pretty far south of Baltimore. I'm 2 hours away from Baltimore. Yep, Double T Oyster, Spike and his dad Rick down there at Tall Timbers. Run a great operation out of there. I had a friend too that worked on the oyster farm as well, but I actually went to college with Spike. It's a good little setup they have down there. Almost convinced. Start with a cooked oyster. Don't go right to the raw oyster then. I do like Smith Island cake. I haven't had it in forever because I have a barley and malt allergy that got worse after I got Lyme's disease, and so I haven't been able to eat anything but gluten-free stuff for a long time. So yeah, the Ravens. We don't talk about the Ravens anymore. That was very disappointing. I agree. I did the Maryland, Louisiana, and I'm sure Florida is not going to be any different. It's going to be the same thing. They're going to taste exactly the same. I hate to say it, but all blue crabs taste the same when you're just comparing it with the same kind of seasoning, the same kind of stuff. Now, if you're saying like, do boiled crabs and boiling seasoning taste different than steamed Maryland crabs? Of course they do. I could definitely tell that difference. But yeah, you can't tell the difference from crab to crab if you cook them all the same way. That's awesome. Thank you for buying that, Linda. Yeah, I hear you. Barbados. That's pretty down there. Oyster shooters are of course delicious. If you're going to the Oyster Fest in October to see me shuck, When you first walk in on the right, there are oyster shooters that you can get, and they actually go to support the Rotary Club that throws the whole oyster competition. So if you want an oyster shooter, stop there first and grab one of those, because my good friend Viet will be working there. All right. So the whole goal is to shuck as many of these, or just shuck 24 oysters in as fast as I possibly can. My fastest is just under 4 minutes. The fastest in the National Oyster Shucking Competition is like a minute and some odd seconds. I don't ever have any delusions of getting to that, but I do think I can get to consistently be under 4 minutes. So that's kind of my hope here. I'll shuck all of these. I'm going to do a few practice ones while I'm talking. I'll answer some questions too, just because I haven't shucked any lately. But I'll shuck all of those and kind of go from there, and we'll answer any questions we have to, or that you guys want to have answered too. Okay, I feel pretty good. This is one that, I don't know. These are actually ones from last week. They're from Whole Foods. It still actually looks pretty good, surprisingly. I'm going to set him to the side so they don't become our count, though. Let's find another one that's similar to that. This one's going to be a little tougher to shuck, I have a feeling. Oh yeah, see? There we go. Well, that one's all dried out. So that's an old one all dried out. Kind of see the difference there. All right, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready to do this. In this bowl here, there's 24. One was one that just looked, that wasn't good. It was kept opening when I squeezed it. So that became an oyster we're not going to use. So right now there's 23 on the table plus one I had left over from a different dozen. Yeah, I hear a lot of people have some horror stories with oysters, and a lot of the times it's from places that don't regularly serve oysters, like hotel bars or buffets, or restaurants that don't specialize in fresh seafood. I wouldn't be doing that. Bye, duck turtle. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. So I got 24. Let's just make sure. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Got a spare knife if I need it. Go this way and put them over that way. All right, gonna go there. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna put this one here. In 3, 2, 1, go. Oh yeah, that's a nice oyster. These are plump oysters for sure. Slipping in there. There we go. Four. That's a hard one. 5. Slid out on me. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 3 minutes, 39 seconds. That's the fastest I've done so far. Let's go ahead and try one now. They actually look really good. So these are Goldilocks oysters. I've never had them before. That one's separated. And I did a much better job. It was fast, but I did a much better job shucking too. None of them look absolutely horrendous. Yeah, and these are the closest ones to Chesapeake Bay oysters I've had so far. So I'm excited. Let's go ahead and give it a try. Yep, tastes like a Chesapeake Bay oyster. And I avoided eating a pea crab. Those things. Some people love these. I don't know. I find them a little gross myself. Conrad crabs. Maybe I should take back that ranking, Conrad crabs. Put you down near Captain Billy's. 3 minutes and 30 seconds is, or 3 minutes and what? 3 minutes and 39 seconds for 24 oysters. I think I could get a job at Conrad's if I was doing that. So I got a bent tip one. You can use a straight tip one. I have both of these on my store. They're R. Murphy, which is similar to the Dexter Russell. It's the better one of the two, I think. But they're both the same division. But basically, the bent tip one makes it so you can get a little more leverage in the hinge to open it up. And the straight tip one, some people just like the feel of it better. I've been doing better with this one than I have with other ones. So, yes, soy sauce. I will take a jar. Ohio. That's a tough move from Maryland to Ohio. No, I've never gotten sick from seafood, really. To be honest with you, I'm pretty sure and I'm probably wrong, but I know that when I look to buy these R. Murphys, I talked to Dexter Russell to do it. So I think R. Murphy and Dexter Russell are really similar, if not the same thing. So if you like the Dexter Russell one, then R. Murphy is a good choice too. What I've noticed is I've had these and I've done these competitions with them or these trainings with them, and I haven't seen the knife or the tip of the knife dull much at all compared to my Dexter Russell. I broke that pretty quickly, actually. Derrick Henry needs to eat more oysters. DMV Mason, I taught you in the COVID year 2020. Whew, that was quite the year, wasn't it, Mason? Sea scallops and bay scallops. Sea scallops are going to be smaller, and bay scallops are sorry. Sea scallops are going to be bigger. Bay scallops are the smaller ones. I've had both of those Conrads. Those are both really good recommendations there. Oyster brine is just seawater. Someone asked, is oyster brine just seawater on TikTok? Yeah, oyster brine is just filtered seawater, basically. Thanks, Dion. I appreciate that. All right, I'm going to put some of these in the jar for later on. Make sure we severed the mussel pretty well. Yeah, that's good. I'm not too sad about it, to be honest with you. Some of these were actually really small. They were like big looking oysters, but they were small when it came down to it. So if you're just to eat an oyster and you just swallow it like a lot of people do, yeah, it's just going to taste like seawater because all you're getting is that taste. But you have to give oysters a few chews, maybe like, I don't know, 1 or 2 chews, because there is some like inherent sweetness and umami that you'll get with it. So that's what I would say. Yes, it can just taste like seawater, but if you chew it, it won't. I appreciate that. Nothing wrong with just enjoying crabs. Oysters are definitely not for everyone. That's one we're not going to do. Wasn't awful. That's what I always shoot for in my food, right? I tried a few in Florida, but it wasn't awful. And it wasn't awful. This rambling junk. I'm just finishing up after I'm done this shucking. What does seafood do for me? I don't know. I like to taste seafood, and I grew up on the water, and I grew up crabbing and fishing, so I've always liked it. And it's just something I feel like I was passionate about. And I decided that a good way to share that passion was to educate people on seafood and make it so it's not as scary for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people are afraid of trying new seafood or trying seafood in general. Gonna blend them up, put a little protein powder in there, and be good to go. Not really gonna do that. We need some cooler weather so we can have some like oyster stew season or something like that. That one's a little bit. No. Sea scallops are going to be, depending on their size, are probably going to be meatier, and so you're going to get more of a scallop taste. Bay scallops, I mean, are tiny. They taste good, but they're pretty tiny. Well, that's good. I'm glad. It can get a little bit expensive. The first 2 videos I got lucky, and the Real Oyster Cult, like I was telling you guys, actually sponsored those videos. So the first 2 videos, all the oysters I shucked, didn't cost me anything. The last 2, maybe the first video I did, but the last 2, these are from Harris Teeter, and I got them for $30. And the one before that was from Whole Foods, and they were dollar oysters. So I think I spent like $48 or something like that. Yeah, I think it's getting to a point where it's feeling more like muscle memory. Like I was saying, I'm at 3 minutes and 39 seconds. That's by far the fastest I've done so far. So I feel pretty good about that. Hey, Alexander. That's awesome you're watching from Mexico. This was 24 oysters, believe it or not. They weren't big oysters. Like the normal oysters that people shuck for like shucking oysters, the Chesapeake ones are going to be big ones. Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't make it to every county. When I started realizing what that would be, it just didn't make much sense. And then some counties didn't even have um, any crab houses. Yep, I've had Duxbury oysters. Awesome. I got to get to New Zealand. That's one of those places, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, places like that, where they have a good seafood culture there. No, I've never tried fried. I've heard of fried hard shell crab. I've never had it though. So, Brian, yes, if I tried Atlantic Aqua Farms, that's where these were from, I think. These are from, they're Goldilocks. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's where these are from. Yeah, they're definitely, they were on the smaller side. There was a few that were big, but a lot of them were on the smaller side. There was one or two that were on a bigger one. I've tried sea urchin. Uni, I don't get why people like sea urchin. That's not my thing for sure. Gotcha. Yeah, no, I found them at Harris Teeter, and they look just like a wild caught Chesapeake Bay oyster, which I thought was crazy. They even have like, maybe you can answer this, Brian. There's Brian on TikTok works for the people that grow these oysters. Like there's so much spat all over these oysters still. Is it just like an on bottom growing method, or you guys grow them in like cages or something? Just seems like a lot of stuff on there. You don't normally see that on farm raised ones, which is crazy. Yeah, I know they're cultivated in Virginia. Just is I'm I guess what I'm trying to say is this like wild oysters that have struck when an oyster starts growing on another thing, it's called a strike. So are these oysters that struck on these oyster shells like wild oysters, or is just this is just how you guys grow the oysters together? I don't. Just curious. My thoughts on Indonesia as like a whole. It seems like a really pretty place. Yeah. So I've been shucking oysters, and right now I'm trying to get under 4 minutes, and we did 3 minutes and 39 seconds. So that was really good. It was nice to see that. Oh, Conrad's is getting some Goldilocks. Conrad's, they were good. I gotta admit, they were good oysters. They taste like a really good traditional Chesapeake Bay oyster. Yeah, and that's what I kind of figured it was, Brian. That they're not tumbled probably as much and stuff like that. But no, they were good. I appreciate that, Todd. Thank you. The ultimate three seafood dishes, in my opinion: a soft shell crab, a fried soft shell crab, steamed crabs, and then simple scallops. I'm not someone that goes too like crazy on stuff, um, over the top and hiding the seafood. So those are probably my three ultimate seafood dishes. Or if I just could like probably eat those three things, that's what I'd be happy with if I only had those three left. I eat them at home, so I don't eat king crabs anywhere but my house. It's too expensive to eat them anywhere else. So I'll either buy them from the wholesaler, or you can buy some good ones from different like Costco and places like that. But eating that kind of stuff out, it just gets so expensive. Snow crab, king crab, even blue crab, it can be really expensive. And so I choose to either buy them somewhere and eat them at home, or with blue crabs, catch them myself. And that's one of the things. Like a lot of people think you got to go to seafood places to, seafood restaurants to eat seafood, but you don't. Like it's so easy to cook, especially like king crab and snow crab. It's already cooked. You just have to heat it up. So you need to go ahead and get those yourselves and just follow the directions in the box and heat them up. It's so much better. Favorite brand of tin fish is definitely Fish Wife. Favorite tin fish I've tried so far. I really liked the Fish Wife I can't remember. It was the chili crisp one. It's not Mr. Bing. That's what I have chili crisp behind the camera right now. That's that one. But it's whatever their salmon and chili crisp. That was really good. But I really do like a lot of the Fish Wife ones. I have a few of those, and I've kind of stopped in the last month or so doing the fish or the tin fish reviews. But I'm definitely gonna do some more as the regular seafood season kind of transitions to a little bit slower with the winter coming. Mussels aren't scary. Mussels are good. Oysters, I get why people are a little afraid of those, but mussels are delicious. The oysters in the jar were the ones that I shucked from the practice I just did, and I think I'm gonna fry those ones. I'm gonna have fried oysters. Maybe do like a fried oyster sandwich. I've thought about that. We just recently moved within the last year, and things have been crazy. But I used to have a PO box where we lived before, and people would send me hot sauces. So if I do that again, I'll make sure I put that out to everyone. Oh gosh, how much did blue crabs cost? Used to cost as when I was a kid compared to now. I don't remember. Like I don't remember being more than $10 a dozen or so. Even as a kid, we caught them from the pier in our neighborhood. But I can remember I worked at a golf course, and we would get pizza and taco express and a dozen crabs. And I mean, we weren't making a bunch of money at a golf course, so it couldn't have been that expensive. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end the live now. Starting next week, October 1st, is Maryland's crab season or Maryland's oyster season. So I'm going to have from here on out true wild Maryland oysters because that's when I'm going to be shucking the competition. And I might do multiple rounds of 12 and yeah, John, do you have some $50 for a bushel of crabs? I thought you were saying you had some oysters. But anyways, I might do multiple rounds of 24 or 12 oysters just to keep practicing. But I'm feeling like I'm not going to embarrass myself too much in the amateur one because I got 3 minutes and 39 seconds on this one. So, all right. I appreciate that, Ben. I'm glad you think it's awesome. All right, guys. I will see you next week. We're going to do the good tea flip challenge. Come on, boys. Let's go.